Why is it good for Dak, but it's not good for Justin Fields? Dak is a winner.
Cap. That's cap.
Oh my God, bro. No, bro.
I'm a Cowboy fan. I got Cowboy hats in the back. I got Cowboy t-shirts in the back. That's cap. And we not taking that.
We're back, Huddle Buddies. How y'all like that new name? Dak is a winner. Season-wise. In his season.
Season-wise.
Yeah. Yeah.
And OBJ is back. Watch. Going deep. Jamar Chase. He's got it. Chase to the end zone. That's a Bengal touchdown.
Buddies, welcome to Bring the House podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Marshawn, co-host and the star, DT. Back here with another weekly episode here for you of Bring the House podcast. Got some exciting topics for you. We're going to just start off here with the let's start off with the Saturday action and how that translates to the NFL with college football. So college football, big questions at the future quarterback draft class. DT in the past few weeks has had Quinn Ewers as his number one. Of course, all the other quarterbacks are lying and falling down when it comes to Carson Beck, Shador, so. But this week cast a lot of doubt on some of those top prospects. Let's go ahead and start it off, DT. Give us an updated ranking of where you see quarterbacks, and what changed, what made you update and change this.
So let's talk about who I had number one first.
Okay.
First, all of them lost money this weekend in their different matchups. But let's talk specifically about Quinn Ewers. He had a terrible game against Georgia. I know he recovered a little bit in the second half, but throughout the game, including the second half, what was exposed for him was the fact that he can't hit the deep ball. And we've talked about that like a dead horse on this show. And secondly, he's a statue in the pocket, like an absolute statue.
Yeah.
And so his inability to, like, what kept Carson Beck alive in that same game was Carson Beck was able to scramble a little bit and make a couple plays, get the ball out on third down. And Quinn Ewers, he just couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. And so for all the talent that Quinn Ewers has, like that, if you like, because this is gonna be the tape that scouts watch. You know, there's no better tape that he's gonna have than against a Georgia defense. And to put that type of performance on tape, that's gonna really hurt his draft stock. You know, and there wasn't many throws that you come out of that game thinking like, oh my God, that was a profound throw. That was an excellent throw, or like he got blasted. Blindsided in the pocket presence was terrible. He got blasted once, strip sacked another time. Like, if you go down the list of things you need for the NFL quarterback, he didn't throw it well. He didn't have good pocket presence. He didn't move, like his mobility was terrible. You know, I don't mean to rag on the guy, but it's hard to put him at number one right now, based on the performance we just saw, especially against that type of opponent. Now, you know, the same things with the other 3 or 4 guys still are occurring. You don't leave the game very impressed from what Carson Beck was able to do. Shador Sanders probably had the best weekend of all of them, but he still threw an interception. He still had a couple fumbles. And I still saw different throws on tape. There was one where he was throwing an out route, or no, it was a corner route, short side of the field, and it was underthrown. And so I still have the same arm strength concerns about Shador Sanders. And so, to be honest, bro, it's a conversation for draft season, but I think it's a year to trade out of those quarterback picks at the top of the draft.
Wow. Trade out of the 1 picks and the 2 picks.
Let somebody else take the L. Yeah. It's the year to build a team around somebody, or just trade out altogether.
I will say to the Shador Sanders, because I watched the highlights of the game and I didn't really watch the game. I feel like he's so used to getting rushed that you see he don't step into a lot of his throws. He do not step into a lot of his throws. Like that one big play to Wester at the beginning of the game where he threw the ball up. Beautiful ball, but bit underthrown, and it's because he felt pressure in his face, which if you look at it, he would have took a lick, but he been taking licks. Step to that throw. He could have laid that ball out more. Yeah. It would have been a touchdown. But he don't step into a lot of his throws. Carson Beck, I just looked at the stat line. That is atrocious. He 23-41, 175 yards, 0 TDs in 3 games.
And then he had a couple that was dropped. He had a couple interceptions that was dropped. So he should have had more interceptions.
Speaking of that, side note, I understand this is the quarterback conversation. What are your thoughts on that call, the uproar, and the overturn? Because that was wild. I've never seen that in college football, at least.
So, from jump, it was a terrible call. From jump.
Terrible.
Kirby Smart said it was supposed to be called on someone else. I haven't really seen that piece of it yet, but what I know from what I saw was it was a terrible call.
Yeah.
And Kirby Smart is right; it does set a bad precedent. But at the same time, a play like that in a game like that, you want that to be gotten right. You don't want it to be wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of money on the line for these schools. There's a lot of prestige on the line for these coaches, draft stock for these players. If Carson Beck threw that pass and it's intercepted, Carson Beck needs to get the stat of an interception for that poor decision and poor ball. Period. And so to make it right is a good thing. And on the game overall, the only reason Texas lost was because they have a Division III punter that shouldn't even. If that man is on scholarship, that's absolutely ridiculous. His first half performance was just like he would be okay. The whole first half of the game, we played in Texas' end of the field, and every time Texas would punt, our punter couldn't get the ball past the 50-yard line. He could barely get it. He couldn't even touch the other 40. He couldn't even touch Georgia's 40. And so every time Georgia would receive the punt, they would start their drive somewhere between the 40s. And that's automatic points. So it's not like Carson Beck had a great game or Georgia had a great game. Our punter, our offensive line, and Quinn Ewers single-handedly lost or triple-handedly lost the game for Texas. And
okay.
Defense played well enough to win, but whatever.
But on the call part, side note, Texas was fined by the SEC today, $250K for how the fans behaved throwing the bottles. Yeah. So they were fined. I do think it's just a dangerous precedent because you don't think a lot more fan bases are going to create an uproar in order to have a call change. You are correct. It was a horrible call. Low key, it was more OPI than it was DPI, defensive pass interference. It's more offensive pass interference than defensive pass interference. But I'm glad they got it correct. At the end of the day, I just think they wanted to get back home safe and get to their cars safe because their cars would have been on fire. But definitely sets a horrible precedent. I agree with Kirby. The fan section got to do better. The bottles and everything. You ain't gotta do all that. Just keep it to the booze. And
I like that they did it.
Y'all.
They did it. I think it does set a dangerous precedent. But like I said, I like that they did it. And had I been at the game, not gonna cap, and I had a $18 beer, I'd have thrown my $18 beer on the field. I ain't gonna lie to you. I've been right there with it, throwing it on the field. Because it was a terrible call, bro. It's not like it was a. It's not. It was the situation. Right? It wasn't like a 15-yard penalty for pass interference where there was no like change of possession or points taken off the board. This was like Texas was going to get the ball goal to go in a game where they needed momentum turn, right? And so for the refs to take that off the field, it was warranted in my opinion.
Yeah, I just don't think the way the fans acted was warranted.
Oh no, it was. It was the $250K, the loss. The $250K would have been worth it if Texas would have won. But the $250K fine and the L, it's not good. That's not good.
Probably go down number 5. All around situation. Yeah. I just wanted to ask you your thoughts on that because that was a crazy thing. I was in a Discord with some of the other friends and they were like, I've never seen it before in college football, and they watch way more college football than me. So I was just like, hey, maybe they need to introduce the NFL rule rank challenge calls. That will work as well. But that was our segment on the quarterbacks, and that was also our thoughts on college football. Of course, if you do want to see more college football content from us, go ahead, comment in the comment section what you would like us to go ahead and target and look into. We actually have an analyst who literally breaks down plays for college football in DT. So he definitely has an insight on that. But we're going to jump right to the NFL. We're going to first go ahead and start off with the NFC North, the best division in football. Literally. DT. Yeah. First of all, they are who we thought they are. The Vikings lost today. And it's partially because their quarterback. Am I wrong? Or why do you think they lost that game? I'm going to ask you that first. Why do you think they lost that game? And was I right?
I think what you try to do is to get me to eat some crow on my thoughts for Sam Darnold. However, the scenario of the game ended with the Minnesota Vikings defense giving it up. It did. The Lions won on a walk-off field goal. The Minnesota Vikings, regardless of how the game went, they scored 28 points, which should have been enough to win. And they walked down the field and got ahead. The Minnesota Vikings defense should have been able to hold that lead.
Didn't the defense get them there in the first place, though? Didn't they have a fumble return 6?
Yeah, they did. They definitely did.
So technically, the offense scored 21 points.
What you want me to say, bro? He's Sam Darnold. Let y'all tell it. Let the world tell it. He shouldn't have scored. He shouldn't have scored 14. He gave me 21.
No.
And I'll take the 21. I'll take the 21.
Basically, what I want you to say is, like I said, 2 years ago they went 13-4 and lost in a wild card, and you said it's because of Kirk Cousins. Is this not another Kirk Cousins type of situation?
Hell no. Because I'll say this.
Okay.
Sam Darnold has both a higher ceiling and a higher floor than Kirk Cousins. No, hold on a second. I'll say this. Sam Darnold has a higher ceiling and a lower floor than Kirk Cousins. And I'll take that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, today we saw a little bit of that lower floor than what Kirk Cousins would have put out. You know what I'm saying? But, in previous games, a drive here, a drive there. And that's the thing with Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins will lose you games in moments. He may not lose you games like for a duration of poor performance, but Kirk Cousins will lose you games in moments. And I think that Sam Darnold can win you more moments than Kirk Cousins. I think that's proven. Didn't Kirk Cousins lose today?
Kirk Cousins did lose.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think it was Kirk Cousins' fault, though. I don't think it was his fault.
What was the score?
Did you not see Drake London? Did you not see Drake London miss that reception and tip it to a pick? I'll look into the Falcons. Oh, they lost bad. 14-34. Oof. They lost bad. To the Seahawks. Yeah. But Walker did go off. Their defense was hot garbage. Yeah. And Bijan did his thing. But
it was Kirk Cousins' stat line.
He did, yeah. Kirk Cousins went 24 for 35, 232, 1 TD, and 2 picks. It should be 1 pick, but it was 2.
232.
232.
60-something% completions. Not bad, but, like I said, higher floor. Kirk Cousins has a higher floor than Sam Darnold. And I think that's a trade-off Minnesota Vikings fans will still take. I think most Minnesota Viking fans, if they look at the stat line from Sam Darnold and Kirk Cousins today, I think they'll still take Sam Darnold. Without a doubt.
But are they not But are they not who we think they are, though? They're going to have a good record in the regular season and get bounced in a wild card. And that's if they make it, because it looks like Detroit is in the lead for the division right now.
Yeah, but I don't think it's gonna be for the same reason though. Like, I think that with Kirk Cousins as their quarterback, they went into the playoff game. Everybody knew they was gonna lose, point blank, period. Right? Because Kirk Cousins wasn't gonna be good enough. But I think in this scenario, they might run into a good team. You know, let's say they run into the Seahawks if they get hotter than they already are, or the 49ers get healthy. Those are two games and matchups you would expect the Minnesota Vikings to lose, right? And so,
yeah,
you know, whereas the Vikings with Kirk Cousins played the Giants with Vanilla Vic, who everybody
Vanilla
knew
Vic is crazy
because it was a primetime game and a playoff game. That Vanilla Vic and the Giants was about to smoke Kirk Cousins, and so I think it's different. You know, I think it's a different scenario.
I don't know, bro. I just want you to admit that the Vikings, who we think they are, and they always gonna be who we think they are.
I mean, they 5-1, bro. They 5-1.
That sounds cool. I mean,
what's the Packers record? What's the Packers record?
We are 5-2, I believe. Because we were 4-2 when we entered the dab. We were 5-2. Give me 1 second. I need to verify that before I sound stupid. Yep, 5-2. 5-2.
So y'all in third place.
Technically,
y'all right there with the Cowboys. Y'all right there with the Cowboys.
Wow. Don't disrespect us.
We in third place. Don't disrespect
us. Y'all in third place in a weaker division. We have literally the toughest. We have the toughest division in football. Literally the toughest division in football. So, and I think we may end up pulling it out.
Bro, you can't say the NFC North is the toughest division in football, and then give none of the NFC North teams their credit. Because you don't give them their credit. Because if the Minnesota Vikings are sweet, then that would mean that the NFC North is not the best division of football. If the Lions were sweet, then it would mean that the NFC North is not the best division of football. You think they all sweet?
Oh, by Packers standards, they are. But none of all these teams are tough outings.
Oh, you're sweet. The Packers are sweet. Y'all in third.
And we're not. And then also we didn't have our quarterback for 2 or 3 games out the season. Like, come on, man.
And the Vikings didn't have theirs either. They have a better record.
No, the Vikings do have their quarterback. JJ wouldn't have started this year until probably not even midway. I would say. Right. So the Vikings are the team they are, which is cool. Good for them. Congratulations for them. They're 5-1. Congratulations to the. I guess you could say that. I guess I give the teams in my division their flowers. The Lions. Congratulations to y'all. Division number 1 right now. Y'all took the throne away from the Vikings, who, like I said, we are who they thought they are. Bears on the come up, and the Packers. You know, Romeo Dobbs too. Romeo Dobbs. He was looking real number 1-ish today. Every time the game was online, they went to Romeo. Even though he did have that block in the back that almost costed us the game. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. Romeo Dobbs was looking real number 1-ish today. The Packers, they have 3 number 1s, bro. Well, 2 number 1s. I'm gonna say that. 2 number 1s. Jaden Reed, Romeo Dobbs. 2 number 1s, bro. And Tucker Kraft could really be a number 1, but we're not gonna go.
So let me ask you a question. Since they number 1, would you pay either one of them $40 million a year? That's what number 1
Negative.
So you put that immediately. Let me ask you this. Okay, you don't want to pay him number 1 money. Let me ask you this. Would you pay would you pay the combination of them $40 million a year? So would you split 20 and 20?
Yeah.
Or 17 and
that's,
whatever. Don't try to give me the math real time.
That's a steal. Yes. 2020 each. Yeah.
So they are not $20 million receivers to me. They are not.
If Dobbs keep up the performance he had today, he is kind of on a T. Higgins level for me.
T. Hit, bro.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Bro, Dobbs was dominant winning his routes. He was dominant winning his routes today. And he wasn't going against no chumps at corner. He was going against Sting and all of them. He was going against that tough secondary from the Texans. And he was winning his routes.
Is Derek Stingley a top 5 quarterback in the NFL right now?
He on the cusp.
Don't even worry about it. Is Derek Is Derek Stingley a top 8 cornerback in the NFL?
I would say, yeah, top 8. Yeah, top 8. To me, Sting is. It's gonna be kind of tough to say, but to me, Sting right now, I'm not talking about career-wise, is better than Sauce. Because Sauce was getting routed up by Pickens today. Was Sauce not getting routed up by Pickens? And I said right now.
Did you right now today? You're saying, all right, let's get a clarification for the record. Are you saying that Sauce had a better game today than Derek Stingley, or are you saying that Sauce is having a better season than Derek Stingley, or are you saying that Sauce is right, like not as good as Stingley, like going forward from today? What do you say?
No, I'm saying he having a better season. Let me clarify. He's having a better season than Sauce right now. Sting is having a better season than Sauce right now. You disagree with that?
Yeah, bro. I do disagree. I think that certain styles of receivers will give certain styles of every position in every sport will give certain superstar players fits and challenges. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And George Pickens just might have been a bad matchup for Sauce Gardner. Sauce Gardner is also not healthy, trying to tough it out as well. He was injured coming into the game. I think he left the game even more injured with like an ankle or something. And so, you know, Derek Stingley hasn't even like. I like Derek Stingley. I think he was a good player at LSU, but where he was drafted, what his career has been, they don't add up. They don't add up, bro. That's not me saying it. That's okay. The fans out there in the world might disagree.
I agree with that.
Look at Pastor Tad, look at where he's drafted, and look at the two and compare the two. Drafted in roughly the same draft position. Look at the two careers. I
can agree with that. I can actually agree with that. Career-wise, but not season-wise. But career-wise, he ain't living up to his expectations.
Yeah. So,
but Romeo Dobbs did do his thing today. But you were saying,
since we speaking about Texans expectations, we had a couple homies in the comments section confused as to why you said on last week's show that the Texans was underperforming. So could you explain that a little bit? Because you said that the Texans kind of underperforming to you, and some folks in our comments took concern to that. So what you think?
Yeah, I can definitely go into detail about that. Pass game. Start with that. This team offense without Joe Mixon, atrocious. And you can even see that in the Packers game today. CJ Stroud did not have a good game. I understand his O-line ain't the greatest. Also, that's another thing. O-line ain't the greatest. You got Laramie Tunsil on that O-line, and they just soft. They just not good. They couldn't even handle blitz. They couldn't even recognize disguised blitzes. All right, I'm not gonna go into too much detail, but the O-line is sorry in my opinion. I'm not gonna say sorry. The O-line is not performing up to their expectations. The wide receivers, we shut down Trayvon Diggs today. All that smack talk. Oh, Trayvon. Oh, I don't let nothing go. In his words, I don't let shit go. About Jair Alexander and they beef and whatever. Bro had under 50 yards this game. 5 receptions, under 50 yards. And I can bring up the stats just to verify, but actually I have it up. Yeah, this is perfect. His stats. He has Stephon Diggs, 5 for 23. Their top receiver was actually that 5 for 23. Dalton Schultz had 1 reception for 28 yards. Damn. Yeah. CJ Stroud had under 100 yards this game. He only threw for 86 yards. So you telling me you're not concerned about that? That's a Super Bowl team for y'all, huh? Oh, that's a Super Bowl team, fans. Oh my gosh. Oh, 86 yards. Carson Beck threw for more yards than that. And he had 3 picks. Stop it. So that's what's concerning me. I'm not saying that y'all not good. I'm not saying y'all not going to get it together. Because Bobby Slowick did adjust some things. And CJ Stroud did show me that under pressure, when it comes to pressure situations, because we were up in that game, he can go ahead and perform. And he also had one of the best kickers in the league in Keone Fairbairn. However, without Joe Mixon, that offense is concerning. That's number one. Number 2.
Damn, that was just number 1?
That was your number 1. And then it's only 2. It's only 2 points, really. Number 2, the defense is decent. It's not, I don't think it's, but then again, they had 2 hurt linebackers, so I'm not even going to say too much on it. That defense is pretty tough, but I don't know what it is. I can't pinpoint it, but the defense is kind of concerning as well. But I feel like they're going to get together because all the star power they have on that end. The offense is really my biggest concern for them. Come on, bro. CJ Stroud, we hyped him up. 86 yards. 86.
Yeah.
So
that's hard to defend.
That's what concerns. That's what I'm saying. That's what concerns me.
Let me ask you a follow-up question.
Do you agree with that? Okay, go ahead.
Okay. They have a couple guys hurt. Nico Collins in particular, and you know Nico Collins definitely shouldn't make or break your offense. To be clear, I know he went off since the Texans got CJ Stroud, but you know for them he a difference maker, system guy. Let's call him system receiver. Need him, but so my follow-up question, and depending on where you take it, I'll have an additional follow-up question. Would you go as far as based on the preseason hype that the Houston Texans had, and where guys like me had them as potentially in that same conversation with the Chiefs and the Bengals, would you say that the Houston Texans are fraud?
I think it's a little too early for that. I'm saying right now. I think it's a little too early for that because, like you said, offense takes a while to catch up to defense. So maybe just the defense got Bobby Slowick's number. They stayed the film from last year. So, and then also maybe the wide receiver, you know, Stephon Diggs and CJ Stroud not on the same page yet. And Tank Dell got to work into his new role as attempted to be a number 2 wide receiver while Nico's down. So I'm not going to say they're frauds yet. They're just really concerning. And also from the hype that they had this offseason with the offseason acquisitions of Danielle Hunter, of what's the linebacker name? Shair? Sorry for butchering your name, sir. You're definitely a good linebacker, but
Al-Shair, I think is
Al-Shair. Yep. With the linebacker, with Stephon Diggs, with Joe Mixon, with these key additions to their team, and they made the playoffs last year. On top of that, I think that they're not living up to expectations that we all thought. I still think they're going to make the playoffs because their division is sorry to say the least. Yeah, definitely cheeks. They're belt to ass. That whole division. Built the ass, but neither here nor there. I just don't think they're living up to expectations based off of that point. And maybe I'm wrong. Texans fans, tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I ain't even watching the film. Point to me. I want you to point out what film I should watch to show me where they have performed up to their expectations. Because to me, without Joe Mixon running that rock, and even David Pierce coming back from injury, that offense is suspect.
I got another follow-up question for you.
Okay.
Who concerns you more then? Houston Texans, Kansas City Chiefs, or the Cincinnati Bengals?
Chiefs don't concern me because they overcome these type of situations. Their offense wasn't that great last year. Their wide receiver dropped the ball. You got Patrick Mahomes, the GOAT, so they don't concern me. You said Kansas City. You said the Texans. Who was the last one?
Bengals. And the Texans.
Ooh, it's a toss-up between the Bengals and the Texans. Bengals definitely concern me. I don't know. That offense. Joe doing his thing, but that offense definitely concerned me. And then the injury concerns, good Lord. You know, you remember what's the tackle or the guard they just drafted from Alabama? From Georgia.
From Georgia, Marius Mims.
Marius Mims, he got hurt last game.
Mims.
Yeah, he got hurt last game. So injuries for the Bengals. Yeah, it looks like it. And I'm not saying that he's not gonna have. I hope he has the most healthy career going forward. But those two teams do concern me. I think I'm gonna say the Bengals concern me more. Actually, definitely the Bengals concern me more. Because like I said, I think the Texans still got time to get together. They still have time to get together. I'm not saying they're not going to be a great team, but right now they're not living up to expectations. The Bengals are scary because they not only can they offense falter because their O-line is still very suspect. extra question marks. That O-line, you don't know what O-line gonna show up, in which week they gonna show up. So that O-line is extremely question mark. Their quarterback is injury prone, but like I said, I hope he has a healthier career going forward. T. Higgins injury prone. After that, who is that? And then can you name a running back on the Bengals roster?
Brown from Syracuse, I think. Can't think his first name, but he got a brother in the league, like twin brothers. Shit. So yes, I can is the answer to your question.
Well, I can,
but most people can't. Most people can't. That's the point.
That's what
most
I'm saying.
People can't.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, I can't. You gonna say, "Oh, you just don't know ball." No, the Bengals don't have good running backs. Let's put it that way. And there's no offense to the Bengals running backs, but NFL wise, y'all unknowns. It is what it is. You gotta call a spade a spade. But yeah, I say the Bengals are way more concerned than the Texans. So I would say Bengals I'm most concerned about. Texans number 2. Patrick Mahomes, I can't. It's the GOAT. It is what it is. You can get that boy Waterboy
Can I
out
ask you
there.
a question?
I bet Waterboy go crazy. Huh?
Can I ask you a question about the GOAT? I have this thought in my head that's going around right now. You keep saying he's the GOAT, and I don't think it's up for debate that he maybe is the best quarterback that we've seen play. Like before Patrick Mahomes, it was Aaron Rodgers. Most people will agree that Aaron Rodgers was the most talented quarterback. Take out wins, take out leadership. Just seeing somebody play the position, most people would have said that Aaron Rodgers has been the most talented to ever play.
Yeah.
As far as cementing his GOAT status for Patrick Mahomes, on the track he's on right now, with the team that he's on right now, and how they manage their roster, do you think that he will ever be able to catch the Drew Breeses, the Peyton Mannings, the Tom Brady in terms of their statistics? Because right now I think he has 6 touchdowns for like 8 interceptions on the season. And so yeah, he can carry them to a Super Bowl with lackluster offense, but he's never. It's becoming difficult for him to put up gaudy stats and gaudy numbers that'll let him catch the other GOATs of the game.
Yeah, and I do. I definitely understand those concerns. Personally, I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all, little buddies. I don't like Matt Nagy, bro. I don't like Matt Nagy, bro. I don't like it, bro. He's just not a good coach to me, or a good offensive coordinator to me. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's his time with the Bears, because he was in my division, or the fact that their offense went from Eric Bieniemy and them going crazy to this. But yeah, Matt Nagy at the current state that he has my GOAT going on, yeah, it ain't looking good for Patrick Mahomes' career. I think they need a new OC, to be honest with you, so they can go ahead and start getting things going. A more creative offensive coordinator. So no, he wouldn't be able to catch them. He would still be a GOAT based off of what he has. Still surefire Hall of Famer at this point in his career. I wouldn't say he'd be a GOAT, because the GOAT is the greatest of all time. He wouldn't be a GOAT. He'd just be another great quarterback at the pace he is. It's basically like if Steph Curry won 3 championships and then said, you know what? I'm only going to start shooting 2 threes a game. It is what it is. That's what he's doing right now at this point. And it's not even his fault. It's the offense's fault. And it's Hunt's fault, Matt Nagy's fault. It's the Hunt's fault and Matt Nagy's fault. Them two. Because they don't want to put nobody around. They don't want to pay nobody. And they want to give him an offensive coordinator who... Bro, look at that offense, bro. You telling me, Chiefs fan, that you just be like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest offense. I'm going to tune in this week. Oh my gosh. I wonder what play they going to call this time.
Bro, my neighbors here are Chiefs fans.
Yeah.
They make me hate the weekend, bro. They be on their patio, enjoying their life, living their best life, and just living it up. Watching Packers go home, scrape by every week to a undefeated record. And it's like, bro, they're not that good. Their defense is like, in terms of Super Bowl teams, they may not be a historically great defense, but in terms of teams that have won the Super Bowls, their defense is up there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would even argue that their defense carries them more than Mahomes do.
I can say that, yeah. I can say that. I feel like Mahomes just band-aids the offense right now. Their defense definitely lifts them up. Yeah, so that
was my thoughts on Mahomes.
No, I definitely understand that. But they still don't concern me. They'll mess around, sneak another Super Bowl win. Like they like that commercial where the old man throwing $1 on the fishing pole in front of the girl, and she keeps trying to snatch it. He's like, "Oh, you gotta be faster than that." That's literally how they win Super Bowls. It ain't surefire. Like they walk in the spot, you be like, Super Bowl team. They just gotcha. Like that's how they win Super Bowls, bro. So
yeah, I
wouldn't be surprised to do it again. Y'all gotta get a new OC. Y'all gotta get some weapons around Mahomes. That's all I gotta say. Or Mahomes just gotta find another place. Yeah. But with that being said, we just discussed the NFC North and it being one of the best divisions in the league, and we kind of went on a tangent, tirade to other things about the Texans and the Chiefs and things of that nature. I do have a question for you. What's going on with the Niners, man? Is it just the injury bug that's really affecting them, or has the league found out about the Niners?
No, I think that it's a combination of, I would say 60% of it is injuries, and they're a constantly injured team, and the other 40% is that their culture might be dead. I think it's time to have that conversation.
Okay.
Because when you sit and you think about, not just like they've lost defensive coordinator after defensive coordinator after defensive coordinator, they've lost offensive coordinator after offensive coordinator, and in addition to that, they suffered a back-breaking overtime loss in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
it's not their first time, and so I think they might be dead, team wise. Like kind of how Dan Quinn ended his Falcons tenure. The Falcons never recovered under Dan Quinn after they lost to the Patriots in the Super Bowl. And I think the 49ers are right there in that spot. Like I said, I was putting 60% to injury, 40% to them having a culture problem.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. I definitely do think the injury bug is definitely biting them hard this year. That defense is still nice. It's just, I don't know. Because you look at them, you just be like, it's the same old 49ers offense. They running it. But they just don't.
Yeah.
They ain't got that it factor. Yeah, so yeah, that was. I just wanted to look into that.
Brock Purdy threw like 3 picks today, bro. What's with quarterbacks investing up their money this weekend? You can't go in there and throw 3-4 picks.
Nah, you can't. And I was actually just saying, last weekend, he definitely did. He pulled. Oh my goodness, this man pulled a Carson Beck. And what went over with the TDs and 3 picks.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, definitely messed up their money this weekend. I don't know. They don't have that. They just don't have that it factor. They also did lose Brandon Ayuk. Feared that it may be a torn ACL. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's just a strain ACL or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, bro. I don't know. That's a scary team. Did you have anything else you want to go ahead and go to?
Yeah, if we can hammer this 49ers point, without IU, they are like marketably not a team that anybody should like be fearing. Not that Ayuk is a tremendous difference maker, but when you sit, and I know my Cowboys, for the record, everybody see my Cowboys gear on. I got this stuff on because we won this week by not playing, and it's pretty much the only time we get to have a good Sunday is when the Cowboys are not playing. So I took this opportunity 2 weeks in a row.
Congratulations, Dak. By the way, congratulations, Dak Prescott.
No, let's not go there. Let's not talk about that. Everybody loves marriage, everybody loves weddings, but let's not do that. Okay, well, I don't want to discuss that and get my true thoughts out there about that specific subject. But back on subject. Yes, I am aware that the 49ers play the Cowboys next week, and the 49ers are going to thrash the Dallas Cowboys. I am aware of that. But in the grand scheme of things, I don't think that, based on how the season is developing for Christian McCaffrey, and boy, what a draft bust for fantasy football owners. Wow. Phenomenal. but I don't think he's going to be as effective as he traditionally is by the time he does actually play. Because, I mean, he'll be still getting heated up as the season gets into the winter. And with Ayuk out, now you're going to have Debo do more number one things, which this show thinks he's a wide back. And so, I mean, who you got? Greg Jennings? And that's not Greg Jennings. What's homie name? See,
Jawan
part of the
Jennings.
problem. Jawan Jennings. Jawan Jennings. He's a Tyler Boyd. I think Tyler Boyd's better than him. I think most people will say that, but you know, I don't think a combination of Debo, Tyler Boyd. I don't think a combination of Debo, Jawan Jennings, one-legged Christian McCaffrey, and no touchdown George Kittle is gonna get it done for you in the playoffs. I don't think that's gonna happen. And so I think
Ricky Pearsall.
It's his first game, I think, that he's played, and you know, I ain't done too much shit on him because he had the whole rivalry situation, but they wasn't in love with him in the preseason and the training camp, and I don't believe he caught a pass today. I could be wrong on that. Also, in addition to saying he didn't catch a pass today, it's his first game back from being shot, so there's that, and give the man some grace. But 4-5 weeks from now, let's revisit how Ricky Pearsall is impacting the 49ers offense. So now we close that chapter. I did want to get your thoughts on when we talked about in the pre-show. What is the best Super Bowl matchup that you want to see after seeing this much of the season?
Yeah. So I'm going to give you my dream matchup, and I'm going to give you the matchup that I think more than likely will happen.
Yeah.
More than likely what's going to happen, of course, it's going to be the Ravens. I just don't want to see that, man. No offense to the Ravens. I don't want to see people in the Baltimore fans. I just don't want to see 30 runs in the game. That just don't excite me.
Yeah.
The only, like, a Derrick Henry big run excite me, but a Derrick Henry run up the middle for 4 yards and run into somebody or get dragged down by 4 people, that don't excite me. So I don't want to see that personally. But it's going to be probably the Ravens versus the NFC is kind of tough. I would say the Ravens versus probably the Lions may go this year. The Lions may really go this year, I feel like. And if it's that'd be an interesting matchup. I'm gonna say that. That'd be my dream matchup. Either not my dream matchup. The matchup I think was gonna happen, the Ravens versus Lions. It'll be tough to see the Lions go, but I'll be happy for them as well because they've been a poverty franchise, but now they're actually on top and they're actually doing their thing. So shout out to the Lions. You said what?
I can't admit that the Lions deserve success.
Yeah. That's why I
they
wouldn't be
waited a
mad.
while.
I wouldn't be mad. I really wouldn't be mad. I actually like, the players that y'all had back when y'all had Megatron and, Stafford. And even back, Barry Sanders was one of my favorite players growing up. And I didn't grow up in his era, but I did watch his highlights. Like, my generation watched Jordan highlights. So definitely like that. And yeah, they would deserve to go. But who I want to see go, a dream matchup for me will be something like the Bills versus the Packers. And y'all gonna say, because you're a Packers fan, partially. But I want to see a game with fireworks, bro. And that game has the potential to be a 50-point game in the Super Bowl. Offense is going back and forth. But it also had the potential to see 3 picks from both quarterbacks, 20 points each. Not even that, probably like a 14-7 game because of how many turnovers and how sloppy the play is. So, but that'd be a dream matchup for me because of the fireworks aspect, or the Commanders as well. Even if it's the Commanders that go, that offense with a healthy Jaden Daniels, fireworks versus like a Bills or a let me look at the AFC, a Bills or a Texans who actually got their shit together. Yeah, fireworks. I just want to see fireworks in the Super Bowl. I don't want to see a Patriots versus Rams again, a repeat of that trash Super Bowl. Worst Super Bowl I've ever seen in my life. Literally probably worst Super Bowl in NFL history, besides the point. But that's my dream matchup and my reality matchup.
I like the Lions and the Ravens as a matchup. With the Lions losing Aiden Hutchinson, that would be a game where they can kind of mask that deficiency against against the Ravens because they're not going to throw it as much. They're not going to drop back and throw it as much. And Aiden Hutchinson wasn't going to sack Lamar Jackson anyway. In the grand scheme of things. So I think that would be a good matchup. But one I would say is that looks really attractive and obviously is probably not going to happen considering the current state of the Bengals. But the Bengals and the Lions will be a good firework matchup. You know? Because like neither defense really got guys that's going to lock the other offense down. They got, pieces here and there, but in terms of back and forth, that would be a really good, like, quality, modern NFL. That would be the matchup that if I was an NFL kind of game maker in the background, overturning calls here and there and making linchpin move, I would be trying to set up the Bengals and the Lions. I think that's a really good game, high scoring game.
I can see that, especially if Joe Burrow had a performance like he did against the Ravens. Oh yeah, that would be a good game. I like that.
Yeah,
that's actually a good pick. That's actually a very good pick. Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't say that. You know your team, the Vikings, bro. I'm surprised you didn't say them in the Super Bowl would be a matchup you can see.
Sam Darnold on that stage though, like you don't want to get to that stage, and this gonna be the last hit of cocaine football that you get for 5 months, and Sam Darnold go out there and spit out a dud. You don't want that. And so let me go ahead and take the Lions. Let me go ahead and take the Lions.
I agree with that. Yeah. And then ultimately, just follow up question before we end it. Who do you see winning the Super Bowl? An AFC team or an NFC team?
Definitely AFC team. No doubt about it. Like AFC,
really,
it's not even so much that the AFC is like stronger, which they are, but the concern for me is that the NFC is already so beat up.
Yeah,
like every team in the NFC is shot except for the Packers. Like everybody has key injuries on the NFC side, and it's like it's not even halfway through the season yet. We a little bit over a quarter. We had 6 games.
Yeah.
And so, I think that it's gonna be a challenge for the NFC to put a healthy team in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Battle attrition.
Yeah, and with the attrition, who's this is shaping up really well for, and which might be a sleeper team to get to the Super Bowl. Hate to say it, wearing the gear that I'm wearing. But the Philadelphia Eagles, bro.
Really?
Yeah, people might not like how their head coach right now. He's not the most favorable head coach.
Yes,
he also, but they're the most healthy. They're the healthiest team that I can think of in the NFC, and they're a deeper team. So they're better positioned to withstand the attrition of the NFL. And overall, they're a more talented team than most teams they'll play. And so if Nick Sirianni can just be competent on that random Sunday in the playoffs, couple random Sundays or Saturdays at this point in the playoffs, if he can be competent on those 3 or 4 days, they can find themselves in Super Bowl.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I can see that. I wouldn't want to see that. That offense is
I wouldn't.
Horrible offense.
I definitely wouldn't want to see that.
No.
It's horrible offense today. It might not be horrible. I mean, Saquon went for 170 today.
Yeah. It's nice watching him run. I love her to death. He actually is.
Could you imagine
one of my favorite
a Ravens versus Eagles and Derrick Henry and Saquon give you at least 150 in the Super Bowl?
That'd be nice. I wouldn't be so, and this is the preface. I said I wouldn't want to see the Ravens in Super Bowl because I would also want to see Derrick Henry run for 4 yards in a pound of dust or a pile of dust, or whatever it may be.
Pile of dust.
Yeah, 4 yards of cloud dust. But I wouldn't be mad about like a Super Bowl where both running backs go for 150 each. That would be so. Like watching Saquon today was electrifying. no offense to the Cowboys, watching Derrick Henry against the Cowboys this year was electrifying. I used to want to be a running back, so watching those big runs.
Why you had to that stray at me, bro? Why you had to shoot that stray at me, bro? Watching Derrick Henry against everybody's been electric. Why you had to throw shots at me? Why you had to throw shots at me like that?
I ain't gonna lie, that game against the Cowboys at their stadium was lit. It was lit. And that's not because I'm a Cowboy hater, partially, but it was just electrifying. So yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that. But those are our thoughts here. Let us know, Huddle Buddies, what you think and who you view in the Super Bowl as the favorites. Who's going to win the Super Bowl? You can be biased. I'm biased, as you can see this whole time. I'm very biased. But let us know in the comment section. Like, comment, subscribe, follow us on all social medias: TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, whatever it may be the case. Let us know. DC, any final thoughts before we end?
No, that was it, bro. I think this has been a good show. I like what we're building. You know, hey man, it's been a pleasure.
No, definitely it's been a pleasure here. Hey, Huddle Buddies, it's been real. We'll see you next time. Until later.